Finally, Sunday night, The Rock will come back to WrestleMania. And his opponent in this feud they've been building for a full year is John Cena. Now, before I go any further, hit that subscribe button up above. Comment down below. Tell me, whose side are you on? Are you Team Rock or are you Team Cena? And also, like or dislike this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. And now, into the video portion of this. Let's get all that out of the way at the beginning so then we can concentrate on what I want to talk about. And that is The Rock versus John Cena. Whose side am I on? Well, first of all, I'll give you the positives for The Rock and the reasons why I'd like The Rock to win. Now, first of all, The Rock is the man. There's no doubt about it. The Rock, in terms of pro wrestling, in terms of every pro wrestler on the planet right now who can go back in that ring, lace up those boots and is willing to put on a show, The Rock is the man. He's the one guy we all want to see, and he's the one guy who's got the biggest global reach, in my opinion. Then you go to the fact that when I was a child, I grew up in the 90s, born in 1988. So when The Rock debuted in 1996, the end of 1996, I was 8 years old, around about that impressionable age where I'm starting to understand it a little bit, a little tiny bit. Rock was a bit rubbish back then, a bit boring. Give it a year, give it 2 years. Survivor Series 1998, Rock wins the world title. This is when I'm 10 years old and I start to move into my impressionable teenage years with The Rock being one of the focal points in the thing that I love, pro wrestling, the WWE. Rock is the man right now, and this is one of the reasons I want The Rock to win, because when I was that impressionable child, that impressionable teenager, The Rock was on TV, he was beating them jabronis, he was pie eating, he was record setting, trailblazing, all that good stuff that The Rock likes to continually tell us all about. Rock was doing all that, and it'd be a nice little nostalgia moment for me, personally, as a fan of The Rock from 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago now, to see The Rock return, The Rock to come back, beat John Cena 1, 2, 3 in that ring, and have his arm raised. Why would I want John Cena to win? I'll tell you why I want John Cena to win. Why would I? Here's a few reasons, eh? Cena is the company guy. He's the one guy, well, not the one guy, but he is the main guy in the company who says, do you know what? Put it all on my back. I will come in and I will fight every single week. I'll fight multiple times a week. Episodes of Raw, sometimes even on SmackDown, house shows. He's never on Superstars or NXT, but pay-per-views. You want it done? I'll do it. I'll be there, and I'll be there to wave the WWE flag. Fuck the Team Johnny and Team Teddy flags, the WWE flag. I'll be the flag bearer for the WWE. You need someone to do an advert, I'll go and do that advert. You want someone to go in and be in this film, I'll go and be in that film. I'll play Fred's dad in Fred the movie. Cena is the man. Cena says to himself, you know what, I'm going to do that because I want to be the guy. Obviously he's getting his own gain from it, he's becoming a multi-millionaire, but still he's putting it all on himself. He's saying, you know what, put it on me, I'm going to make pro wrestling cool again, or I'm going to make it relevant. I'm going to try and do my best. Is it cool? You can say to some extent within the younger audience. Wrestling's only really cool within the younger audience. It's very rare that wrestling becomes cool within older men, especially in the era where there's no kayfabe anymore. What else? Yeah. Is wrestling relevant? Well, wrestling's all relevant to who's watching, really. The kids are all still watching, and the kids love John Cena, so John Cena's making it relevant to the target audience. John Cena's the man right now in WWE. Now the negatives. Rock's been away. I've covered the negatives before in 10 Reasons Why The Rock Sucks video. That's a parody video, by the way, for anyone who thinks I was being serious. Get a grip, yeah? Go back and watch it. You'll see it's a parody video now, I said it. Go give your thoughts on that video over there if you're not seen it. If you have seen it, go put them again. So yeah, Rock versus Cena. Rock's been away. Rock has said to himself, do you know what? I've done everything I've got to do here, and I can't be bothered anymore. I want to do less work, make more money. Everyone wants to do that. Fair play to him. Fair play to him. But that doesn't mean that he's not a sellout. It doesn't mean that he shouldn't have done it, because that's the right thing for him. But for me as a fan, I'm not looking at what's best for him. I'm looking at what's best for me. And what's best for me when it comes to my TV program of pro wrestling is seeing The Rock on there. That's what I want to see. I don't want to hear about Rock being in no film. I don't care about The Rock's films. As entertaining as he is as a wrestler, I don't find him that interesting as an actor. Some people say it's the same thing, but it's different. So yeah, I'm not going to get into the whole, should Rock leave or should he not? The fact that he's left, that's great for him. That's great for that one person, The Rock, but for the millions and millions of The Rock's fans, it just doesn't crack it anymore, does it? He's left us. He's gone. That's one of the reasons why I'm not too fond of The Rock winning. Why am I not too fond of Cena winning? I'll tell you why I'm not too fond of Cena winning, because Cena's been shoved down our throats for so long. The only difference is over the last 12 months, they've sort of eased it back a little bit and said, you know what, Cena? Let's bring you back a little tiny bit. Let's not continually shove you down people's throats. Yeah, we'll keep you strong. We'll have you winning matches, but we won't having you overall the champion all the time, being world champ all the time and only losing matches when the other guy cheats against you and losing the title that way and then coming back saying, I was cheated, but I will beat them again. They're not doing that. Now, you might be thinking, you've raised good points, negatives and pros for both Rock and Cena, so whose side are you on? I'll tell you whose side I am on. I am on Team Cena for this one reason and this one reason alone, and that is that if The Rock comes back after a 7-year absence, having only fought a tag team match at Survivor Series, and he comes back to the WWE in the main event of WrestleMania and he beats John Cena, the main guy in the WWE, how bad does that make the WWE look? As soon as The Rock leaves again the day after, what sort of position is the WWE in if their top guy, if their number one guy has just been beaten by a guy who's retired? That makes everyone go, WrestleMania was good. I enjoyed WrestleMania. Rock came, Rock won, Rock left, so did I. And why should I watch that crap? Who have they got? They've only got John Cena. He can't even beat The Rock after 7 years out. He would have never survived in the Attitude Era. I don't want that. WrestleMania can still be good if John Cena beats The Rock. It can be just as good as if Rock beats John Cena. But the difference is, coming out of WrestleMania, the position that John Cena will then be in if he beats The Rock at WrestleMania, it'll be so much better off, because now he's proved himself against one of the top legends of all time. The word legend is thrown about all too often. Hacksaw Jim Duggan's a legend. Nikolai Volkov's a legend. No. These aren't legends. These are guys who were good in their day, but they're no longer relevant to today. John Cena, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, these guys are pro wrestling legends. And that is why I want John Cena to beat The Rock. And that'll put him on a level with all of them. Lately, The Rock's been doing a hell of a good job on this promo, saying, you know what, I've beaten Hogan at WrestleMania. I have beaten Austin at WrestleMania. I just need to beat you, John Cena. If I beat you, John Cena, then I am the greatest of all time. Rock wants to be the greatest. That is the reason for Rock to win this. However, if Cena wins it, he becomes one of the greats. What good is it if Rock wins and becomes the greatest of all time, and then the next day says, see you later, I'm going to go and make a few more films. I might come back again, but don't count on it. You know, what good is that? I know he's apparently been booked for WrestleMania next year, but that's only one match in a 300. Well, that's one day in 365 days. That's all. With John Cena, on the other hand, if he becomes one of the greatest of all time by beating The Rock on Sunday, that leaves him with the world being his oyster, and that leaves the WWE with the world being their oyster, because now they've got this huge icon in the company. He's no longer their top guy, he's now one of the greatest of all times. And now, if he goes up against someone and he makes them look good, then that makes them look even better. And it's a snowball effect. Everyone else starts making everyone else look better. However, if The Rock comes in and he buries John Cena, if he beats John Cena at WrestleMania, especially if it's clean, then John Cena looks worse. Then when John Cena comes back and John Cena beats Dolph Ziggler, for example, then Ziggler looks worse. Then Ziggler beats Santino looks worse. Santino beats Heath Slater looks worse. And all these people start to look worse and worse and worse. Whereas if Cena comes back after beating The Rock and he has a match with, for example, CM Punk, it's a tough match going either way. Even if Cena wins it in the end, and he can still make CM Punk look even better in that match. CM Punk's not a guy who needs it. That's a bad example. Someone like Sheamus. Imagine if he did go against Sheamus. He won't do. Someone like Cody Rhodes. If John Cena is put in a match with Cody Rhodes and he makes it look competitive, if John Cena's coming off a win against The Rock, that makes Cody Rhodes look that much better. But if he's coming off a loss against The Rock, then he's just going to bury Cody Rhodes by beating him. I might not have been able to beat The Rock, but I can beat Cody Rhodes. You're nothing. You're nothing. Rock's alright, but you're nothing, Cody Rhodes. Do you know what I mean? It's a difference there. I want to know who you want to win. Are you Team Rock, despite everything I said? Or are you Team Cena, despite everything he's done in the last 10 years? The fact that he's been shoved down our throats. Cena sucks. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. We all know the chant. It's going to be going on mad time at WrestleMania. I am fully in the court of John Cena. I've done my parody videos of both guys. I've done my video about John Cena's rap album. Is it called You Can't See Me? You can go check that out on my channel. And I've done my parody video mocking 10 Reasons Why The Rock Sucks. I've done videos negative about them both, but I'm a big fan of both of these guys. Don't get it wrong. Those videos were just for fun, shits and giggles. I'm being serious now. I'm being honest, even. I'm not being serious. This isn't a serious topic. It's pro wrestling. It's a bit of fun. But I'm being honest. I'm a big fan of both guys. I want Cena to win. Whose side are you on?